When we find ourselves lost in the labyrinth of our thoughts, especially those that harbor negativity, it's akin to being trapped in a dense fog where the clarity of reality is obscured. This haze of overthinking can feel like an impenetrable barrier to peace, and yet the key to dissolving this fog lies within our own power. The journey to cease the cycle of focusing on the negatives is not merely about distraction, but about reorientation and understanding of our thought processes. To begin, let us explore the nature of thoughts themselves. Thoughts are transient. They come and go, much like leaves floating down a river. We observe them, we interact with them, and sometimes we get caught up in them. But have you ever considered that the very act of overthinking is a habit formed by repeated engagement with these thoughts? To change a habit, we must first recognize its presence and then understand its triggers. The first step is awareness. When a negative thought arises, instead of following it down the rabbit hole, we pause. In this pause, we have the opportunity to observe the thought without attachment. This is the moment where transformation begins. It is in this space that we can ask, what is the quality of my thoughts? Are they serving me, or are they remnants of past experiences projecting onto the present moment? In practicing awareness, we also need to cultivate an environment that nurtures positivity. Our surroundings, the media we consume, the people we interact with, they all contribute to the garden of our mind. It is essential to be selective, to choose environments and interactions that support our well-being and growth. What we feed our minds with is what will grow. If we plant seeds of negativity, we cannot expect to harvest positivity. Moving forward, let us consider acceptance. It is a powerful tool in our arsenal against overthinking. Accepting that some things are beyond our control allows us to let go of the need to overanalyze every possible outcome. We recognize that life is a tapestry of myriad threads. Some threads we can weave ourselves, while others are woven by circumstances outside our influence. Now think about the last time you were faced with a negative situation. Did you find yourself asking why it happened to you? Instead, shift the narrative. Consider what you can learn from the experience. How can it contribute to your growth? By reframing our experiences, we can extract wisdom even from negativity. Let's also discuss action. Action is the antidote to overthinking. When we take constructive action towards a goal or resolution, we channel our mental energy into something productive. It is the difference between thinking about and doing. By focusing on action, we shift our attention from the problem to the solution. Moreover, we must not underestimate the power of the present moment. The present is where life happens. It is the only moment we truly have control over. When we anchor ourselves in the now, we reduce the space for overthinking. We do this through mindfulness practices such as meditation, or even something as simple as focusing on our breath. The breath is a bridge to the present moment and a tool we always have at our disposal. As we reach the end of this first part of our exploration, reflect on the idea that each thought we entertain is a choice. We can choose to engage with the negative or steer our minds towards what uplifts us. The tapestry of thoughts and the power of choice. As we journey further into understanding the art of silencing the cacophony of negative overthinking, we approach the notion of choice. Choice is a powerful, often underestimated tool in our cognitive toolbox. It is the artist's brush that paints our reality, the sculptor's chisel that shapes our experiences, and the writer's pen that scripts our life story. Every day we are confronted with a multitude of choices, many of which pertain to our internal dialogue. What we sometimes fail to realize is that each thought we entertain is a conscious selection, a vote for the kind of mind environment we want to cultivate. Do we choose the weeds of worry or the flowers of positivity? It is time we become discerning gardeners of our minds. Let's delve into the strategy of choice. It begins with intention. Setting an intention is like setting a compass direction. It does not determine each step we take, but it does set the destination we aim to reach. When the intention is to foster positive thinking, we create a framework for making choices that align with this goal. One practical approach is to use the power of language. The words we use, silently or aloud, are expressions of our internal state. By consciously adopting a positive vocabulary, we can shift our mental narrative. Instead of saying, "I can't handle this," we could say, "I am learning to cope with challenges." The shift is subtle, but the impact on our psyche is significant. Another choice we have is the company we keep. It is often said that we are the average of the 5 people we spend the most time with. If our circle is filled with individuals who dwell on the negative, it becomes more challenging to maintain a positive outlook. We must choose to surround ourselves with people who inspire us, who challenge us to grow, and who reflect the qualities we aspire to embody. Let's also consider the choice of focus. In a world abundant with stimuli, where does our attention go? It is easy to zoom in on what is going wrong, on the faults and failures. But what if we chose to focus on what is going right? Gratitude is a practice that magnifies the good. By acknowledging and appreciating the positive aspects of our life, we can counterbalance the propensity to overthink the negatives. And what about the times when negative thoughts feel overpowering? We must remember that we are not obliged to attend every argument we are invited to, especially when it's within our own minds. Choosing not to engage with a negative thought is as valid a choice as any other. The thought may knock on the door of our consciousness, but we do not have to let it in to sit down for tea. As we near the conclusion of this segment, consider the multitude of choices you've made up to this point. Some have led you down paths of joy and others through corridors of challenges. Each choice is a thread in the intricate tapestry of your existence. How will you choose to weave the threads from now on? Before we move on to the next part, where we will explore the transformative power of perspective, let us pause to consider the choices we've made in our thinking up to now. Are they serving us, or is it time for a new selection? Conquering the shadows, embracing perspective and purpose. In this next passage through the corridors of our consciousness, we address not only the thoughts that knock, but also the perspective through which we view them. Overthinking the negatives is often a symptom of a perspective that magnifies fears and minimizes our resilience. It is the shadow play on our mental walls where shapes of doubt grow larger than their true stature. To alter this, we must first recognize that perspective is a choice. Our viewpoint can be our prison or our passport to freedom. Imagine looking at the sky through a narrow tube. You would see only a sliver of the vast expanse. This is what happens when we fixate on the negatives. Now envision removing the tube. Suddenly, you are privy to the grandeur of the sky. This is the power of perspective. One transformative perspective is to see life as a series of experiments rather than a relentless quest for perfection. Every experience, especially those that bring discomfort, is an experiment from which we can learn. When we overthink the negatives, we are often fearing failure. But what if there were no failure, only feedback? How would that change the way you approach your thoughts and actions? Let's also explore the concept of impermanence. Everything in life is transient. When we deeply understand that every situation and emotion is temporary, we can loosen the grip of overthinking. The negatives that we dwell on today are not permanent fixtures of our lives. They, too, shall pass. How does this realization change your relationship with the thoughts that trouble you? Now, consider the power of purpose. When our actions are infused with purpose, they become more intentional and our thoughts align with our goals. Purpose acts as a beacon, guiding our focus away from the negative noise and toward our aspirations. Have you identified your purpose and are you allowing it to guide you? The role of acceptance is critical here as well. Acceptance does not mean resignation. It is the recognition of reality as it is, which forms the foundation for effective change. When we resist what is, we give more power to it. By accepting, we free ourselves from the struggle against the inevitable and redirect our energy towards what we can influence. Furthermore, cultivating a mindset of resilience is essential. Resilience is not about never falling. It's about learning how to get back up. It's about understanding that the path to growth often winds through the valleys of hardship and over the peaks of challenge. How does building resilience shift your tendency to overthink the negatives? It's important to remember that our emotions are messengers. They carry valuable information about our needs and boundaries. When we listen to them without becoming entangled, we can glean insights and take appropriate action. Emotions don't have to be the masters of our minds. They can be the advisors, with reason holding the gavel. As we approach the end of this part, let us reflect on the power of perspective. Our perspective is the lens through which we interpret the world and our place within it. It shapes our thoughts, our actions, and ultimately, our reality. Take a moment to consider the perspectives you hold. Are they expansive or restrictive? How do they influence your tendency to focus on the negatives? Harmony of mind, the symphony of self-mastery. In this concluding segment, we weave together the threads of awareness, choice, and perspective to create a harmonious tapestry of thought. To master our minds is to conduct the symphony of our thoughts with precision and intention, ensuring each note contributes to the melody of a well-lived life. The journey towards self-mastery requires a holistic approach, one that encompasses the full spectrum of our humanity. It involves an alignment of mind, body, and spirit, each element resonating with the others to create balance and peace. Mind, the realm of thoughts. In the realm of the mind, we have laid the foundations of awareness and the importance of choice. We have discussed the impact of perspective and the transformative power of purpose. To integrate these into harmony, we must practice mindfulness daily. Mindfulness is the conductor's baton that directs our attention, ensuring that each thought aligns with our chosen symphony. It is the deliberate focus on the present, the careful observation of thoughts without judgment, and the gentle steering of our mind towards constructive patterns. Body, the vessel of action. Our body is the vessel through which we interact with the world. It is influenced by our thoughts and, in turn, can influence them. Regular physical activity, a nourishing diet, and adequate rest are the instruments that keep our body in tune. When our body is cared for, it becomes a source of energy and vitality that supports positive thinking. The discipline of self-care reinforces the discipline of mind care. Spirit, the essence of being. The spirit is the essence of our being. It is where our deepest values, beliefs, and aspirations reside. Nurturing our spirit is crucial for inner harmony. This can be accomplished through practices that connect us to something greater than ourselves, be it meditation, prayer, communion with nature, or creative expression. When our spirit is engaged, we access a wellspring of hope and positivity that can flood our entire being, washing away the residue of negative overthinking. Integration, the harmony of wholeness. Integration is the process of bringing together mind, body, and spirit in a consistent, coherent practice. It is about living the principles we have explored not just as occasional remedies for overthinking, but as a way of life. Integration is the daily rehearsal of our symphony, each practice a note, each day a measure in the grand composition of our lives. To achieve this harmony, it's essential to establish routines that support our well-being. Create a morning ritual that sets the tone for your day, build habits that encourage positive thinking, and carve out moments for reflection and gratitude. Be patient with yourself, as mastery does not occur overnight. It is the product of consistent practice and dedication. As we conclude, remember that the power to change the pattern of our thoughts lies within us. Each of us is both the composer and the conductor of our symphony. The music of the mind can be as tumultuous or as tranquil as we make it. Let us choose to create a masterpiece. Reflect now on the journey we have taken together. Consider the insights and strategies that have resonated with you. How will you implement them in your life to achieve the harmony of mind that you seek? The path to self-mastery is before you, and the baton is in your hands. With this, we complete our exploration. May you move forward with the knowledge that you have the power to orchestrate your thoughts and create the life you desire. Are there any specific areas you would like to discuss further, or any assistance you may need as you embark on this path toward harmony and self-mastery?